Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. This is an important message and warning about the situation in Egypt. Those of you who have watched my other videos know that Iran, Russia, America and Israel are all on the same team, and Iran's enmity towards America and Israel is fake. Like my other videos, this will probably not be taken seriously until after people see that what I said has come true. Remember that I warned about Obama, saying that he's going to become president a year before he became president, and explained what is going to happen in America depending on his popularity. And I foretold the outcome of the fake war in 2006 between the so-called Hezbollah and Israel, as well as many other events, so please listen carefully. The revolutions that you see happening in Muslim countries are planned in such a way as to eventually hand over all these countries, especially Egypt, to Iran. That's right, America is planning to hand over Egypt to Iran, just as they handed over Iraq and Afghanistan to the Satanic Republic of Iran. This is the reason why the Iranian government is now congratulating the Egyptians for their revolution, even though you would expect them to do the opposite due to the situation in Iran. This is how they are planning to do it. Israel is now secretly planning to bomb Egypt and kill many people. When the Egyptians become desperate for help, the Hezbollah or so-called Hezbollah will send their forces to Egypt to supposedly protect Egypt from Israel. But as I explained before, the so-called Hezbollah is itself controlled by Israel, and the wars against Israel were fake. The Shias in Lebanon massacred the Sunnis, especially the Palestinian refugees, but then portrayed themselves as a resistance group who had supposedly defeated Israel, even though in 1982 they themselves helped Israel invade Lebanon in the first place. Now they are planning to do the same in Egypt, so that they would also appear as the saviors and protectors of Egypt, and in this way they can control Egypt and control its people and convert them to Shiism, and to destroy any real opposition or any group who tries to prevent them from spreading their satanic ideology in Egypt by accusing them of being agents of Israel, just as they are doing now in Lebanon, and just as the Iranian government has always been doing in Iran. The people of Egypt need to know that the satanic secret societies are planning to make victims of hundreds of thousands of their people, while at the same time the Hezbollah is planning to pose as their heroes and saviors, without actually fighting against Israel, but only pretending to, just as they have been doing in Lebanon. The Egyptian people have fallen into the Zionist trap, but they can free themselves from it if they completely disassociate themselves from Iran and the Hezbollah, as well as America and the UN. And they must not allow anyone who has good relations with Iran, America, Russia, or the UN, and of course Israel, to have any power in Egypt. When Israel attacks Egypt, the people must rely on Allah and only seek help from the believers, and not from the mushrikeen and munafiqeen. But let me assure you, as an Iranian and the former 12th Imam Syi'ah, that Iran is planning to take over Egypt through the Hezbollah, and Hassan Nasrallah is secretly mobilizing his militias right now.